You decide it's time to finally get healthy, so you make yourself a massive bowl of raw vegetables, leafy greens, and whole grains. But instead of feeling energized and revitalized by all those vitamins, within an hour you feel bloated and physically uncomfortable, and in many cases, you're actually worse off than before you started eating. To figure out why this happens, we have to look at the findings of a 17-week multi-omics study out of Stanford University that compared two specific dietary interventions: high fiber versus high fermented food. The results suggest that the true benefits of a plant-based diet are currently out of reach for many of us, simply because our modern digestive systems are no longer equipped to handle them. The issue is the industrialized gut. Decades of high sanitation, highly processed diets, and modern living have steadily stripped away the variety of bacteria living in our digestive tracts. When this microbial diversity disappears, the immune system loses its natural regulators, leaving the body in a constant state of baseline inflammation. In the Stanford FeFiFo study, 36 adults were split into two 10-week trials. One group doubled daily fiber to 45 grams. The other consumed 6 daily servings of fermented foods. The goal wasn't weight loss, but to see which strategy repairs a damaged modern ecosystem. The high-fiber group focused on staples like legumes, seeds, whole grains, and vegetables. Digesting these plants require enzymes, specialized enzymes produced by your gut microbes that are responsible for breaking down complex plant cell walls. While participants on this diet did produce more enzymes, the data revealed a paradox. For those who started with low gut diversity, the sudden influx of fiber actually caused a spike in inflammatory signaling markers. Think of a factory. Dumping a massive load of raw materials onto a line without enough workers creates a bottleneck. This fermentation inefficiency means unspent carbohydrates pass entirely through the system into the stool. Drowning an unprimed gut in fiber doesn't improve the system. It simply overwhelms a microbiome that isn't ready for the workload. The second group took another route, consuming 6 daily servings of yogurt, kimchi, and kombucha. The line chart shows a steady, cohort-wide increase in microbial diversity for every single participant. As diversity rose, researchers saw a corresponding drop in 19 inflammatory proteins, including IL-6 and IL-10. Interestingly, the new microbes from the fermented foods didn't actually stay and colonize the gut. They were just passing through. But as they passed through, they engaged in indirect remodeling, changing the gut environment to make it more receptive for other beneficial permanent strains to move in. By bypassing the limitations of the industrialized gut, fermented foods were able to consistently suppress systemic inflammation across the board. Comparing these two diets shows a core biological truth. Fiber relies on the microbiome you already have, while fermented foods actively change that microbiome. Fiber is still the long-term goal for a healthy immune system, but your gut must have the functional capacity to handle it first. Think of fermented foods as the biological primer. They expand the microbiome's diversity, so your gut can successfully process a high-fiber load without creating a backlog of inflammation. Attempting a high-fiber diet without first increasing your microbial diversity is essentially putting the cart before the horse. To start repairing your internal ecosystem, you can take immediate action in your daily diet. Adding accessible items like kefir, kimchi, or kombucha to your routine begins the process of priming your gut for those complex plant fibers. The FeFiFo study proves that a high-fiber diet yields highly personalized results based on the current state of your microbiome. In contrast, fermented foods provide a consistent way to rapidly decrease inflammation and build up your gut's microbial diversity. To build a more resilient immune system, don't just eat more plants. Prep your gut with fermented foods first, so it actually has the tools to use them.